Item number 4 is to consider approval of the Staples Motley ISD 2170 Park Use Agreement. Excuse me. I tried to get that line out before the.
You couldn't quite make it. I had to get to it here. You want me to just do these, Trish?
Sure.
Okay. Starting on page 6, the first of 3 park use agreements. First one is a new one for us, which is actually a use agreement with the Staples Motley School District for use of our parks for spring school baseball, summer baseball through community ed, basically Babe Ruth, and then cross country. Basically what, they're paying for that ongoing use, providing the 2 porta potties at Pine Grove during that span of time. And then also $1,000. You can see that on the second page of the agreement. And then for each tournament, they're going to be having some Babe Ruth tournament out there, $300 a tournament, which is comparable to what we do with lumber bats, the softball league, and so forth. So I think it's good to, get that all in writing, and much of this has been past practice, but it's good to have it in writing. So I would recommend approval of the park use agreement with Staples Motley Schools.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Roy, second by Doug. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 5 is to consider park use agreement with the Staples Amateur Baseball Association.
So starting on page 8 in your packet, the agreement is basically the same as it has been the last couple of years, $300 for the year, $300 for each tournament. And then with the Amateur Baseball Association, they do a lot of the maintenance on the baseball field out there at Pine Grove. So I'd recommend approval of that one as well.
Motion by Ron, second by John. Discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item 6 is to consider the approval of the 2021 park use agreement with the Staples Softball League.
Starting on page 10, basically very similar to the Saba one, $300 for league play, $300 for each tournament. This is out at Dower Lake, the softball tournaments. Again, the Softball Association does a lot of the maintenance work on the softball facilities out there, so I would recommend approval of that one.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Roy, and was that Doug?
Yep.
Second by Doug. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That moves us to consideration of approval of the facilities use agreement with the Minnesota State and CLC.
Starting on page 12 in the packet, this is basically for what I would term agricultural property around the airport runway. If you look on page 17, you can kind of see aerial photo of that area. What's on page 17 is actually a crop restriction line. There's certain crops that you can plant in certain areas as far as height of the crop. So we had SEH actually put that together for Ron Nelson, so he kind of knows where those lines are. But basically, it's for the 57 acres, annual fee $2,052, and I would recommend approval of that.
Second.
Motion by John, second by Ron. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And then we will move on to item 8, and that's to consider adopting Resolution 1838, and that's to support funding for proposed second passenger train between the Twin Cities and Chicago.
So this is the resolution that we talked about a couple of weeks ago at the council meeting. And, you know, kind of to summarize it, everybody probably studied the one that, the draft one that we had 2 weeks ago, but there's apparently some federal funding that if the state matches would be available to make improvements to the track that would allow a second passenger train, daytime train, basically going from Chicago to Minneapolis. Chicago to Minneapolis, why is Staples doing this? The thought is that if they go that far, the next logical step would be, you know, the St. Paul to Fargo for a daytime train. So a lot of the communities that have Amtrak stops along this corridor. I saw Wadena just past this. They aren't even an Amtrak stop, but see a benefit of a daytime train. So, you know, basically what we're doing here is, you know, encouraging the state of Minnesota to match, provide that $10 million in matching funds to enable getting the federal money or utilizing the federal money. And I think could be a good option for people that doesn't involve 2 in the morning or 4 in the morning, whatever time the trains roll through Staples, so.
Is there any downside to it?
Not that I can see. I mean, I don't think from our standpoint, you know, this would be a logical daytime stop. They're already stopping in the middle of the night here, so.
I'll move resolution 1838.
Okay, a motion by Ron and a second by John. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Opposed?
Motion carried. That'll move us to item number 9, and that's to consider approving the bid award to Struck and Irwin Paving Incorporated in the amount of $32,795 for the 2020 runway 1432 taxiway, taxi lanes, and apron crack seal project contingent on receiving the FAA grant award.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Page 21, 22, and 23 in your packet have to do with this. And just so everybody is aware, all of these airport items we did deal with at the airport board meeting last week, and with recommendations to approve them. So page 21 basically is a memo from Sarah Mattis, who's one of our engineers with SEH. SEH put the project out to bid. As the agenda item read, 32,795 was the low bid, Struck and Irwin Paving. And this is federal, so 90% federal, 5% state, 5% local participation on the project. So I would recommend that that we take action as the agenda item states, awarding the project to Struck and Irwin contingent on that FAA grant, which we will get, so.
So moved.
A motion by Doug and second by John. Discussion? Okay, not hearing any. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 10 is to consider adopting Resolution 1839, authorization to execute MnDOT grant accepting airport coronavirus, why can't I say that? Coronavirus Relief Grant Program grant agreement in the maximum amount of $13,000.
So moved.
And a motion by Doug, second by Roy. Discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
So that's the one that tomorrow morning I'll hit signature and then it should bounce automatically.
Okay,
FAA AIP
Okay.
email, yep.
then we'll move to item number 11, and that's to consider adopting Resolution 1840, authorization to execute MnDOT grant agreement 1046820 to provide AD building improvements in the amount of $27,500, state-funded $20,625, and city-funded $6,875.
So I'll give you just a little bit of background on a couple of these. The last year when the CARES Act was passed federally, FAA received additional funding. You know, normally it would be the 90%, 5%, 5%. They covered 100% of all of the projects that that FAA was involved in last year. Which worked out really good for us with the multi-aircraft storage hangar project. The complication that it made for the state of Minnesota was they had all of this money that they had budgeted and kind of allocated for all these projects that all of a sudden were not going to be spent. And the state, definitely wants to spend that so that they, have it, get the same amount the following year. But so they actually reached out to us and a whole bunch of other airports, looking at our airport CIPs and seeing what projects that we have on there that would typically just be a state project, not involving FAA. So we had hangar door repair, we had fuel system updates, and then also our arrival departure building to do some work to spiff that up a little bit. So that's a couple of these here that, and we actually did the hangar door piece here a couple of weeks ago via resolution. So AD building basically is windows and exterior steel is what that project is. So I would recommend council approving resolution 1840.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Doug, second by Roy. Discussion? Not hearing any. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion carried. And one more resolution, and that'd be 1841, and that'd be the authorization to execute MnDOT grant agreement 1046893 to provide fuel system modifications in the amount of $27,821, state-funded $19,475, and city-funded $8,346.
So this project basically will replace everything above ground related to the fuel system. So the pump with, that the nozzle plugs into, the credit card reader system, including updating to the chip reader, which we're required to do. The hose reel itself and the grounding reel. So basically all of that stuff that you see above ground would be replaced. So it's fairly old. I don't know what year that pump was installed, but all of the card reader stuff, the pump, the ground reels, constantly have people here doing maintenance on that, fix it. So I would recommend we approve resolution 1841 and get it all updated.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by, I didn't catch, I never tell the difference between you two over there. Doug so motion by Doug, second by Roy. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And that'll move us to item number 13, and that's to consider approval of raffle permit for Knights of Columbus 1803 on August 22nd at Sacred Heart Area School. Motion by Ron, second by John. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. That moves us right into commission reports, and we got two of them. Trish is here with Parks and Rec.
Hello. Park and Rec met on April 13th. We had a prospective new member, Lisa Toper, join us. Do I get right into it and then we'll do the appointment later? Okay. So I attached the April facility schedule. We'll be changing again now in May, closing on weekends. Summer programming, I went over some of the programs that we're going to be offering with Kids Camp starting on June 14th and running through the summer. Some Nerf battles and a Sky Lantern release. Just a variety of things. They're listed in your packets. If you have any questions, you can give me a call. I talked to the board about a proposal for equipment. So along with all of the new programming comes some extra needs to keep people enticed. More specific on that will come at the next meeting. I want to lay it all out so you can kind of see the expense and the revenue. We talked about a nonprofit supporting organizations similar to the Friends of the Library. And Ron Murray has decided to step away from the board and lead that group. So it's awesome to see, but sad to see him go. Facility funding update. Gerald gave an update to the board, which is most of you, on the different funding opportunities that we have coming. Parks and Trails. So Music in the Park is back this year. Yay. A little bit different. We're going to be helping sponsor that so that we can cover some of the costs for them with insurance and kind of help them out a little bit because there's only 2 of them running that. So park use agreements, you guys got to do that already. The downtown planters and trees, there's 7 tree grates downtown that we'll be planting. I'm working with Blake, so he got kind of a late start. So just waiting to see what trees are available. The planters, I'm working with the school district and their greenhouse to do the planters. So the kids will plant the planters again, and then we'll put some native perennials in the great big planters along the highway. Lincoln Park, so exciting new playground. We picked the playground, so now it's just a matter of getting it shipped here and setting up some time, volunteer time, to get it installed. It will increase the size of the sand and everything, so we'll have marked places, and the street shop will help kind of take the old equipment out and put the new stuff in. Then the list of projects, I kind of just updated the board. There's a slew of them. So we have the storm shelter, paving out at Dower, site pads and signs, just to help identify where people are supposed to park at the campground. Dower Lake field work. So the softball field is doing some work on the infields. And then we have a retaining wall that needs to get put up from where the building came down, because we're having some runoff issues. The Memorial Grill gazebos for Ron Selvey will get put up this year. We're gonna do some beach work, trying to keep the sand at the beach instead of it kind of blowing all over the place. So we'll place some boulders, add some sand, and get a little bit of a retaining wall. I hate to say that because it'll be like a step basically around the footings for the shade sails. And then we'll finish up the Dive into Dower project and get the new sign up. Pine Grove Pavilion, so the bathrooms in the kitchen shelter, the walls on the inside, when you push your foot up against it, you can hear the sheeting behind it. It's kind of rotten, so we're gonna pull the walls off and make for sure that the studs are all good and seal it back up. We're gonna finish the dugouts with new tin, and I'm gonna work with the baseball boosters on new bleachers. The caboose, I had a second contractor come and look at it this week, so that will get painted this year. The playground and the warming house, and that was it.
right. Any questions for Trish? Thank you. And we'll go to Airport Board. Oh, did you have you had a motion we needed to?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
All
the
right.
new member, which I'll have another one next month.
So, and that's to consider appointing Lisa Topper to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board.
Yep.
Okay, got a motion by Ron,
I'll second.
second by Roy. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank
There we
you.
go. Daryl, Advisory Board.
Yes. I think we talked actually about most of this
Yeah.
stuff. We already took action on a lot of it, but just updated the board on the real replacement project that was done last fall, and some punch list items on the multi-aircraft hangar that needs to be wrapped up yet. The $30,000 CARES Act grant, and then also the $13,000 American Rescue Plan grant that we approved here tonight. All of the other stuff on here is basically projects, with the exception of two items. One, in the 2021 budget, we did budget for an aircraft caddy, which is basically a, electric pusher puller to be able to get larger planes in and out of the multi-aircraft storage hangar. And so I presented information on the aircraft caddy from DJ Products. It's actually is over in Little Falls, which should work out quite nicely. So there was action taken by the board to move forward with that acquisition, which we have done. So it should be here in about a month. And then the other item, which we'll put on a future agenda for the council, but when we set all of the rates for the long-term rental and also the transient rental in the multi-aircraft storage building, we did not include anything for a helicopter. So naturally, somebody with a helicopter, is interested in utilizing that. But so anyway, what the airport board was recommending was to just set it at the 200 for a month or $30 per day, the same as a single engine. So, and I'll bring that, back to the council as part of a fee schedule update. But it's good to have those numbers. So other than that, I think that's it for the airport board, unless there's questions.
Questions? Okay. Thank you, Gerald. We'll move us to open forum. Got anything to say, Ryan? All right. Okay, we'll move on then to city administrator's report.
Fairly short report. I'll just run through a few things. Just want to update the council. The hiring process for the city clerk finance director is underway. We had 17 total applications. That has been whittled down to 4. Backgrounds and personality assessments and all that kind of stuff are being done with interviews on the 12th of May. So moving right through that process. 12th of May. So this will be kind of awkward because I am a Rotarian, but I do want to thank the Rotary Club. The club did a cleanup at NP Park and then also up at Wilson Park. Basically picked up all the sticks and vacuumed up all the leaves, and appreciate the effort that they put forth every year to help us out in the parks. Had a LEAP meeting last week, and spring is here, judging by the number of shed and fence permits that are flowing into City Hall. So people have pent-up projects that they're wanting to do, and so we're getting those processed as quickly as we can. That's all I have, unless anybody has anything.
You know, I know Ron, we had, and if there's our signage there, or Trish, I'm just, with Wilson Park and some of sometimes those kids when they, as far as pulling their cars right up by the basketball thing and listening to music and,
I can post signage and they just take it down.
Yeah, and those cars,
So,
you know, maybe in 2 houses down, they pull right up on that grass. So I don't know what the answer is there.
yeah, the other day I saw them, they were parked right up underneath the basketball hoop again.
yep. Yeah, they pull right up there. You know, we could put some boulders out or something, but,
Yeah, it's another thing to mow around too.
Well, yeah,
I
mow and
noticed
trim
one of the
around.
signs actually is broken, the one.
yep.
Sign that identifies.
There's no sign there.
It's Wilson Park.
The one that says,
He picked it up.
Yeah, it's not good.
Used to be.
There used to be a broken sign there.
I need that some other things. Yeah, so.
Well, and there, you know, I guess one of the questions, there really is no off-street parking for that park. You know, the street's fairly narrow. You know, are they better in the grass, not necessarily all the way up there or on
Yeah,
the street?
no, I understand that. They pull right up.
they go up the hill kind of a little bit right next to
Your tree.
Diane's house there, and, you know, the other day they had the
For better
doors open.
listening. Stereo.
Or for excess of beverages, a little quicker than go back on the road.
All right,
Could go over and invite them in and drive.
we put a sign in your driveway, parking, huh?
Yeah, free parking in Wilson Park.
I move that we adjourn.
And a motion by Roy,
Second.
second by Ron to adjourn. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?